mean, who knows? You know why. I know he's flirting with her, but you know the reason. This is a good question. Will he be involved in future problems or conflicts? Welcome, guys, to another reaction video. This time, I'm going to be reacting to episode 4 of Kogiya's Roze of Recapture called Alliance. It's kind of weird because normally I get a week off between recording my reactions to the different episodes, but because I was on vacation last week, it's a couple days, so it seems kind of like whiplash, but there you go. With last week's episode, we finished the first film that was released in Japan. So with episode 4, which is this week's episode, we are now starring the second film, which is really exciting because unlike the first film, I don't have the same intimate knowledge of what happened. So just like you guys, I'm going to be a little surprised by a couple of things. Obviously, I know the big stuff, but the little things, not so much. Also, I heard that they changed the intro for the second film as things change, so I'm curious to see if that actually happens or not. I'm excited to see the return of Nina Einstein because, well, I knew she's coming back. So I'm looking forward to those things, and of course, Lelouch C2 and Cornelia. I hope to explain how the Damocles came back beyond what we got in the pan flip, which explained that apparently it was not a demo, a copy. It was like the first version of it that was left over, and Neo Britannia just picked it up, which is fine, but I've got bigger questions as to how it got to Neo Britannia in the first place and why no one stopped it, because to me, those are the bigger issues. Let's see if we get any explanations about that. So without further ado, let's now react to the 4th episode of Roze of Recapture Alliance. That's from the trailer for the second film, by the way, the seagull flying over Kata Block, I think? Oh, look who it is, C2 in a new outfit, but very similar to the one she's worn in the film series so far. Now she's talking to Lelouch. Yeah, they're still looking for that. How's that going? This is a good question. What's Lelouch's involvement going to be going forward? Looks like a hippie. I mean, who knows? You know why. I know he's flirting with her, but you know the reason. This is a good question. Will he be involved in future problems or conflicts? He's kind of OP, so they gotta find a way to write him out. Apparently he's not, because apparently they're not like true beings, so they're going on their own way. I mean, is that really a good explanation? I don't know. Okay, new intro. Made them make some changes to this. By the way, no prologue for the film. I was okay with not doing it per episode because it released as a film, but we're now in film 2, still no prologue. The best part about Code Geass are the prologues before each episode, or those, I guess you could say, opening monologues. There's nothing here. Come on, guys, really? You dropped the ball on one of the best parts of Code Geass. Also, intro looks exactly the same to me. It's supposed to be different, isn't it? Like Angel Beats where it changes every so often, or every episode? This looks exactly the same to me. Who said it was different? It looks exactly the same. Yeah, I'm not noticing any obvious differences. Maybe it's just me, but I'm not seeing anything. Maybe you guys notice something. I'll have to look at it later after this, I guess I get this video out, because I don't see any differences here. Looks exactly the same. Yep, Sakia falling, or maybe it's Sakura, who the hell knows, who the hell cares? Boobies, and then we are done. The snap's pretty smooth though, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna assume everyone you're seeing here was already there before the occupation, because there's no way they would ever allow these people to immigrate to the nation since the UFN doesn't support it. Although it's still really weird, but whatever. Skyping called Cornelia. That's funny. Well, why though? Doing a third operation after 4 years? Okay, about time. What were you doing before that? Were you with Guilford on your marriage or something? This is confusing. What? No! Are you kidding me? They weren't present during the retaking of Japan? What were you doing? Don't they... What? She's a decoy. Wait, how do they know that? Did she tell them? Oh, Kuroto must have told them. Okay, Kuroto must have said something. That makes sense. But they weren't present during it? Okay, alright, just calm down. Good to see Cornelia back, by the way. Why does she look so goofy looking? I don't know, it's so weird. By the way, as you see, it's her niece. We already knew that, of course. Catherine, go piss off. Wait, these are old Britannians who are racist? Where'd they come from? This is so stupid. What? Okay, whatever. I'll talk about it later. Wrong about what? I'm so mad Toto wasn't there. Neither was Cornelia. Or Gino, or anybody? Ugh, whatever. No, she won't. She's a puppet princess, just like, Callus. Yes, we know, dude. Or, sorry, gal. Dudette. They still keep mentioning their second operation that failed. Okay. By the way, Cornelia's full of shit. This attempt wall is not a problem. Absolutely not. They're trying to sell this, and I'm not buying any of it. This is so stupid. Why are we having racism from the Japanese people when it's been, like, years since the Zero Requiem ended? Like, this is so weird. Are people just, like... I guess it makes sense, but it's just... Same sentiments from before. Avoid conflict, we're already here. Why is Yuko in this story? Seriously, every time you see her. He's just torturing somebody? Okay. Oh, he was the person who was affected by Gias. They're trying to figure out what happened. Oh, this is interesting. I'm glad they followed up on this 2 episodes later. Man, Kristoff's kind of crazy. Yeah, he's busy torturing. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. So Divik's hunting the remnants of the other resistance groups. That makes sense. They ran away in the last episode, so now they're just trying to finish them off. Those goddamn Camdens. I guess so. Looks okay to me. Yeah, those are definitely Divik's forces. The Camdens are orange. That's the other guy from the last episode. His troops are running away too. This still makes no sense to me, but whatever, going with it. Divik's a big motherfucker. That's all I'm going to say. Of course, no explanation where he came from, but here he is. That looked like a Varys cannon or something similar to it. Very interesting. Well, she get along with our nations, but no one should recognize Neo-Britannia in the first place. It was formed under horrible means. Does the UFN recognize it? What do you mean other nations? What other nation are you referring to? This is... what? By the way, Natalia doesn't look like she's like 16. I thought she was in her mid-20s, but whatever. Kogias and ages, you know, makes no sense. That cat's cute. Let me and Mother Chucker. That's right, it's time. Take off your chest binder. We got things to do. I was just kidding, but wow. Okay. He could smell the, never mind. That happened last episode, but yeah. I would imagine so, yeah. Who says they're fighting her? Croto's like, you could tell them. Yeah, they captured her. Which means she's not doing this for her own reason. They're forcing her to do it. Yeah, he was. What a waste. No explanations of why they killed him in the first place, or more importantly, why they brought him to begin with if they were going to kill him. But why change the puppet names? Man, Roze is really trying to sell this because, for obvious reasons. No shit. Oh my god, Yuko. Is this guy like Tamaki? So annoying. Wow. They're almost as, what's the word? Gullible as the Black Knights were during turn 19. Although I think there's more evidence here at least. So, there's that. Back to the shithole. Oh, the funeral for Callus. Man. Anyways, family here. Are any of them alive? I don't know. But interesting to see, I guess. Was he the last of the Charles kids or something? Well, besides the ones we know about, of course. Man, she's really upset. I don't blame her at all, considering she was taking care of him this whole time. Yeah, people still... like, why do anyone accept that? That's what I meant to say. Because 10 years old with heart failure? It's not really common, right? At all? Whatever. Yeah, where's Haruka? She's doing target practice. That was in one of the trailers, by the way, of her shooting. Wow, what a put down. Oh, yeah, good luck, buddy. He was in the JLF. Really? Well, how come there's no mention of him in the original anime? No one talked about him in the JLF. If he was really that good, don't you think he would have helped Lelouch out? At all? Well, okay, that's weird. Ooh, a submarine. Just like the original anime. That's funny. Is like the same one they had before? I don't know. But anyways, mention that Kuroto was a member of the JLF actually introduces more holes than it solves. Whatever. Oh, here's that girl from the trailer. Another Black Knight member. Nice. From that same base, looks like. Oh, Nina. Look at that. She looks great. The Japanese fans are right. She looks awesome after all these years. What's she, like 25 now? Looks pretty good. So it still requires a lot of work to make it work. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't. Oh, I see. She said originally. Now it's better. Oh, wow. It's much easier to use now. So she was working on this even though they were removing night frames from the world? That's really weird. Not too difficult compared to Lelouch and Suzaku. Not too difficult, I would say. Of course, no explanation as to how Neo-Britannia has FLEIJAs or the Damocles being able to go to Neo-Britannia. Whatever. People still have forgiven her from this, even though I've already defended her in like one video, which I recommend watching on the channel if you like don't believe that she deserves being, what's the word, forgiven for that. Man, Nina, she has so much, this is the best part of this episode, by the way, just Nina's growth. It's fantastic. Well, yeah, that's her bodyguard. Makes sense. Wait, but she got to the Hokkaido block. If she got to the Hokkaido block, why couldn't you send anyone else there? Like a secret team to blow up the different towers? Oh no, oh no! Roze, what have you done? You've destroyed the show! Why are these people assholes? That's all I gotta say. Wait, they know each other? From when? The JLF days? Again, who are these people? But why wouldn't you want to work together? This is so, you have like one enemy. In the original anime, they all worked under Lelouch because that made sense. I guess Kuroto's not as motivating or powerful as, what's the word? as Lelouch was. I don't know. Oh, new nightmare frames. Are they actually going to help? Probably not, but okay. Where'd you get this shit? From the Black Knights. How about send some improved Gurins or Vincent Vards or Gareths? I don't know. This conversation is so stupid. We're literally, I mean, they literally have to work together here. Why are we having arguments on who's in charge? You all three can lead together. Oh, looks like they're actually doing that, yeah. Why, but, like, that makes sense. They should work together, obviously. But why would they not unite at all? Like, this is so dumb. Was it because of, like, some past grievances with JLF? What? But things are different now. This is ridiculous. They're acting as if nothing, the Zero Requiem, R1, are like nothing. Okay. Alright. This is so stupid. They're acting like none of this stuff happened. Ugh. An alliance? What a strange concept. Ugh. Oh my god. That should have been the goal from the get-go. Are you telling me they've been fighting independently for like 4 years? They need this twink to tell them to do this? That's what Lelouch did too. He had Ogi and Toto command their forces respectively. This is so... Okay, I'm just gonna ignore it. At least they're working together. That's good. Whatever. Oh, there's Divik. Yes, as planned. Yes, use my Damocles, you frickin' idiot. God, Divik is such a tool. Is he from Yu-Gi-Oh? He looks like the same hairstyle from, was that guy from Arc V or something? Oh my god, we gotta pause. It's Nara. Oh my god. The goddess. Look at her. So beautiful. She's like, damn it. Just like when he pinged Catherine. It's like poetry, it rhymes. She's 17. So, they're bringing back the synchronous rate from the original series. That's interesting. So, they have to put this in here, by the way, because they have to justify why Haruka is going to be the ace pilot of the 7 Shining Stars, because there's no reason she would be, and I'll get to that later. They're spending time discussing it, but they're not really showing it, and that's the problem. The Ketsu, or the Keisetsu. Heh, pull-ups, nice. Very creative, by the way, how he's doing that. The kitten's on him, that's so cute. This doesn't feel earned to me, but okay. Oh, just like when Lelouch threw it at Colin. Taking most of the original anime and repurposing them. You gotta love it. Oh, she's a Sundara too. Okay, whatever. The Sapporo Ghetto? Is that where they are right now? Okay, because it's not. If you want to use the FLEIJA, just launch it with a rocket launcher, or use an Iron Freedom float unit, or a flying ship. You don't have to use the Damocles for that. I don't think people understand why Schneider used the Damocles in the first place. This is so confusing. Now they're gonna launch it. Don't they know? Yeah, whatever. This is supposed to be epic, but it's also, it's not, it's just infuriating. Because we don't have any context as to where the Damocles came from, unless you read the pamphlet, and why they're using it, why no one tried to stop it, all this stuff. It's just, why is she making jokes like that? Or why is she like, I don't know, it seems kind of silly. I don't know. This Damocles is a serious threat, right? And Schneider almost conquered the world. I don't know, whatever. Also, good timing that Nina happened to come at this time to bring the FLEIJA. Did they know they were going to use it beforehand? Oh yeah, more problems, right? Okay, that's in the episode, so let's pause here. Okay, here's the thing. This episode, there's a lot of things about this episode that I just do not like, okay? Is it better than last week's? Originally, I was going to say yes, but no, it's not. 5 out of 10, 4.5 out of 10, something like that. Here's the problems with the episode, okay? So I have issues with Haruka being the ace pilot of the 7 Shining Stars because it doesn't feel earned to me. It seems like much of the discussion about it are concerning things that happened off screen. The sync rate was a nice thing to bring back into the story, but with Zaku, they had the sync rate after he used the Lancelot, not before. But here, she hasn't actually used the Ketsetsu yet, so we don't know if she has a high sync rate for it. At least that's my understanding of how the original anime showed the sync rate. To be fair, it was never really expanded upon. It was almost just used because Evangelion used the sync rate and they had to, I guess, copy from it. I have no idea. The bigger issue is that on screen, Haruka hasn't done anything that would make me believe she would be an ace pilot of the 7 Shining Stars. I don't know why I started to say that. Yes, apparently she's quick and she's got good instincts, but okay, so what? Is she less qualified than Oda or Munamori or Kuroto? They haven't made that clear at all in the story if she would be. Compare that to Colin. She doesn't get the GERD Mark II until stage 10. Prior to this, we see her actually demonstrate her abilities. When she fights Jeremiah, even though his nightmare frame was better, she was still able to get away by ejecting one of the arms, which is really impressive considering, again, his nightmare frame was better than hers, and also that technique is actually something that advanced pilots do. For example, Cornelia used that same technique against her in stage 11, and Zaku used it against Colin in stage 24, I believe. So that's something that Colin picked up immediately. That's how good she is. She also demonstrated the ability to use the Borai in stage 9. Also in stage 2, she was able to fend off Zaku with a crappy Glasgow of one arm after Zaku easily took out the other Sarlans. Again, demonstrating that Colin, even with a simple nightmare frame, can do a lot of things. So it made sense why she was clearly the best pilot within the Black Knights and worthy to pilot the GERD Mark II. With Haruka, all we've seen her do up to this point was one operation, and she got her ass kicked easily. Did almost very little damage. At least Colin in the Glasgow took out a Sarlan, again with one arm. What has Haruka done? Nothing. She had an advanced Akatsuki and couldn't do nothing against the Camdens. I understand that they're better, but you think she would have at least taken out a couple or something, but she never did. So basically, Roze is giving her the Kitsetsu and making her the ace pilot because she's the Colin of the series. That's why we're getting those ass shots and those angles. But they're not understanding why Colin had in the first place. They're just copying moments without understanding why those worked. That has been the biggest problem of this series, and we're going to see that in a future episode when they take out the Damocles or the FLEIJA warhead. Again, copying moments without understanding why they worked. That's my problem with Haruka being the ace pilot of the 7 Shining Stars. I mean, I'm even saying Black Knights because that's what it feels like to me. So frustrating. Next issue. Kuroto, Iwamoto, and Tomi apparently had some kind of past, and Kuroto was part of the JLF. Funny, that never came up in the original anime. Lelouch united the entire JLF after destroying all the resistance groups. Like, he wiped them all out, and the remnants worked for him, which was the 4 Holy Swords. You'd think they would have came during Narita to help out since that was Katase, right? The leader of Japan. Where the hell were you, Kuroto? Did you abandon him? Are you a deserter? Of course, none of that comes up, right? That's why you can't introduce characters like this and say, well, actually, he was part of the JLF, or he had a record of being a great night frame pilot. Then where the hell were you all this time, you Toto/Jeremiah knockoff? You can't do that, guys. You can't just say this person existed, we never saw them. Frustrating. Okay, the whole racism thing where they couldn't trust Sakura because she was half Britannian or whatever. I mean, I just feel like these sentiments shouldn't be as prevalent after Zero Requiem, but they're still here, so whatever. The next issue I have here is that Nina traveled to the Hokkaido block in a submarine that could, I guess, go under the Satump wall. So if they could do that, why not just get more troops there to take out the wall itself? You just revealed a huge plot hole. The wall doesn't work underwater, so they could have sent a submarine under there, get a secret unit of stealth, or I don't know, some kind of secret elite unit. I don't know why I can't say this properly, but whatever. You get a unit under there and just use Gefion disturbers on the Satump, like the towers themselves, and the wall goes away and it's over. It's all over at that point. This is ridiculous. You can't show me something like this and say, oh, you took a big risk coming here in secret. So you could tell other people there in secret too, couldn't you? Oh my god. Okay, and then it gets even worse because Shiro told Cornelia that Toto and her, or Cornelia and Toto, whatever, they weren't present during the operations to retake the Hokkaido block. Where the hell were they? Sorry to scream, but where the hell were they? 3 months Cornelia was gone? It's been 4 years, honey. What were you doing before that? Did you marry Guilford? Plot twist, did they get married? I don't know. I mean, were they on a honeymoon? That's the only way I could possibly accept that she was not present then. But the question I have, and I said this in my video on the Damocles, is there a reason why they wouldn't be present doing this? Was there a bigger thing going on at the time? Keep in mind, the world is at peace. So there's a conflict breaking out somewhere. You have to justify why you wouldn't send the entire might of the UFN and the Black Knights to go and deal with the conflict. Cornelia and Toto not being there for reasons is not a valid excuse. And that's what's so frustrating about this. And what about Gino? What about the W0 squad? What about the Glinda Knights? What about the lesser Nightmare Frame pilots that are still pretty qualified to do this? I feel like I feel like a decent army could have taken out the Neo-Britannian forces if you just gave them Vincent Vards and Gareths or even those other nightmare frames. And again, we still have Jeremiah, Anya, everyone who helped during Resurrection, okay? Any of them could have helped, and of course, Zilkstan could have helped as well, because they're nightmare frames. I can't remember the name of them. They're pretty powerful, and they don't use float units. Even that scorpion thing, the Balangdu, if they made more of those, that could have also gone through the barrier, or not through the barrier, but it could have helped defend or take back the Okaido block or something. It's such bullshit. They're really pushing it with the narrative of this story. And yes, I read the pamphlet leaks or translations. I know what was going on during the demilitarization of the world. No new nightmare frames. So Neo Britannia, they made their own, and apparently the rest of the world didn't have any. This is such bullshit for obvious reasons, because if Neo Britannia was invading Japan, why would you disarm yourself? You should have nightmare frames at the ready. You should always have weapons at your disposal. I know the world's at peace, but understand conflicts will break out, especially after Resurrection. Did you learn your lesson from that? That was like whatever. Point is, that was a bunch of bullshit that they fed down your throat and expected people to accept it. Also, Cornelia, and I don't know how to say this, but the art for her just looked weird. They gave her really weird expressions. She looked really beautiful in art too, especially when she was talking to Guilford. But here, they did something really weird with her face. Pierre pointed out in the trailer when it first came out, and yeah, nothing's really changed there. So that really pissed me off. Callus is dead. Again, I'm still unhappy about that. There's no explanation as to why Norlan picked him over Sakura. What was the point of that? Who the hell knows? But hey, you're just supposed to accept it, I guess. So those are just the issues I had with it. This episode opened up a huge thing of plot holes. Oh wait, sorry, one more thing. And the Damocles. No explanation as to how it got to Neo Britannia in the first place, the Okaido block. Can it fly? Did it fly overhead? Did no one try to take it out when it was flying overhead? And why did they wait this long to send Nina with the FLEIJA Eliminator? Did they know ahead of time they were going to use the FLEIJA warhead? The Damocles has been sitting there for years. In the first prologue, or the only prologue I should say, it showed the Damocles early on, so they knew about it. Why would you wait this long to send Nina to do something? They could have fired the FLEIJAs years ago and killed everybody. Did they know something that we didn't? This is why you can't just introduce things like this for convenience sake. Basically, it's a contrivance that Nina came at the right time they needed her to stop the FLEIJA when they could have fired this thing years ago. Keep in mind, guys, it's been 4 years since they took over the Okaido block. 4 years! And yet, now, okay, we're going to take the Damocles seriously. And of course, no explanation how it came back, besides the fact that it was like the first model of the Damocles or something. All this crap just pissed me off. And of course, bringing back the Damocles conceptually is also frustrating because it spits on the face of the Zero Requiem and what Luce was trying to accomplish to begin with. I was really hoping the first 2 episodes would be something like The Force Awakens. Well, I didn't want The Force Awakens, but I was saying like it would copy The Force Awakens and we start getting something new, but we're still rehashing the same shit. Do I have to wait until episode 7 before I actually get something new and refreshing? Because at this point, it just seems like rehashing. Even Roze uniting all the alliances together, all the resistance groups, all of it felt just, I've seen this before and I've seen it done way better. So this episode pissed me off for those reasons. The only reason why it's getting a 5 out of 10 is because Nina was very good in the episode. And I like how they've continued to develop her character throughout the original anime, and then of course in Resurrection, and then here. It's really impressive, or actually incredible, how she went from this shy, racist girl with no confidence in herself to someone who's now leading a science team to stopping the things she created. I know people still hate her for that, but guys, maybe it's time to forgive her, okay? She was very helpful in Resurrection when she helped save Suzaku, and not only how she hacked into the system, she even piloted a nightmare frame, which is impressive because remember, in the original anime, she couldn't do that. Lloyd made note of it, I think in turn 18 or something. And now she's back helping with the FLEIJA. Again, continuing to take responsibility for her actions. And that's what I respect about her character. It's also cool to see Nara get in action anytime I see her. Well, she wasn't fighting, but just seeing her in general, it always helps improve my ranking of the episode. Not too many Catherine scenes, so that's always a positive as well. I appreciate that. And yeah, that's all the positives I have to say about this episode. I'm really frustrated. The more they peel back the layers of how we got here, the more frustrated I become. At least it was cool that Kuroto talked to Shiro about Sakya and Sakura, so everyone's aware of what's going on. And Cornelia even makes a funny comment about Sakuya. Does she know about her? I don't know. And I guess the last thing I should mention, I'm kind of like rambling here, that's kind of the point of these videos. The last thing I should mention is that it was great to see C2 and Lelouch together, and they reference the fact they're still going after the Gyas fragment. C2 asked Lelouch, why'd you give Sakya a Gyas power? And Lelouch said, who knows? And Lelouch implies that they're not really going to get involved in anything going on. They're actually going to focus on their own thing. which is fine, I guess, because that's what they're supposed to be doing in the first place. Although giving Sakya Gya's power does seem very involved in things, and why wouldn't Luch want to be involved? It's weird. I know he implied in Resurrection he may not be around for much longer, but clearly the show is implying that's not the case, and we know in the picture drama that takes place 10 years later, or 3 years from this particular scene, or I guess you could say show, that he's still around, so that's not really a factor. That was a thing they brought up that they never really discussed again, I guess. Still, it's good seeing them together, and I think they will play some role down the road. No Suzaku, no Colin, and by the way, Cheryl didn't even mention Colin or Suzaku when discussing the failed attempts to retake the Hokkaido block, which makes me think that they weren't even available to help out, which makes no goddamn sense. So I keep going from my positive negatives because it's mostly negative, unfortunately, because they fucked it up. All right. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the episode. Really bad stuff. I hope the next one's better. I'm getting really frustrated with this. I'm trying to find pauses where I can, but again, the bigger picture here is so screwed up that I feel like the member berries and the fan service is distracting people from the substance of the story, which at this point is kind of shit. Hopefully, if I go through those pamphlets in more detail, maybe it'll explain things, but at this point, I doubt it. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed the video despite my negative takes, and of course, let me know in the comment section below that I'm too negative about the series. I get it, who cares? And if you want more content, I actually just released the recap of the 3rd episode of Roze Other Capture. I know, 1 week late, but who cares? And you can watch it right here.